Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Clear for 8 podcast, Final Fantasy 14 podcast, where we're talking about Final Fantasy as usual. And I'm joined here with Clarissa and Sujak.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, and I'm Nox. I always forget to say that I'm Nox. I'm Nox. Hi. Well, another week has passed. Another week of gaming. Any updates from you guys? Anything new going on?
Well, I'm finishing up the build for my medium house and mist that I won, and trying to just get it decorated and not go too crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we spent some time there last night checking out a little preview before it's all finished, but it's looking good, I think.
It looks very nice.
Thank you. I'm going for a beach theme here.
My current decoration setup in the basement of my house is a wall section and a table.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Ooh. Man, party at Knox's.
Oh yeah, it's big time. Everybody crowd around the heart-shaped table I got. Cuz it's the table I got from the Valentine's event. Oh yeah, and today I ran a dungeon. I won a light fixture for my house, so I'm gonna have to incorporate that
Nice.
Oh boy.
in the dungeon. So I don't know what it looks like yet, but it's
Oh boy.
it's a thing I won, so it needs to
Be a hodgepodge of things.
yeah, pretty much. What about you, Clarissa?
I actually recently just bought my FanFest flights, so I'm buckled in. I'm just at this point I'm just kind of sitting waiting for July to roll around. I'm thinking about making a like a cosplay prop of the T book, the Summoner book.
Ooh.
Yeah, either that or the Uwu one. I'm like, okay, I need to make something that actually fits in a suitcase. Because I have this like giant pan backpack that I made, but it's like so large that I would have to try to shove it under an airplane seat, and that probably wouldn't work. So I won't be bringing my cull outfit.
Yeah, it's so much to travel with a full
Yeah,
costume or anything, or even just a
it's
prop, because
difficult.
so many are like it's so easy to break something or they get
Yeah,
squished. Just
yep.
Yep.
why can't everything just be close by?
That would be so nice.
Well, speaking of travel and close by,
Yes.
we are planning a group meetup of all of us and mostly our static and beyond. Meeting up in the US, although we do have some Canadians coming, so there's that. But yeah, we're planning a group meetup of all of us, about like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
So clear
full
for 8.
party.
Full party.
We got to get the group photo.
Yeah.
And we absolutely, Clarissa, your only job is to get into Photoshop or whatever you use and just put,
I'm ready.
full party.
Yeah, I'm gonna Photoshop Stan in too somehow.
Do it like that one, that scuffed one I have. Just like
Yeah, yep. That's exactly
copy paste
the plan.
that square picture.
Yeah.
That would be
Nestle that
perfect.
in there. But yeah, we're doing a long weekend and gonna be hanging out, gaming, and just chilling.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice. See the sights and whatever. I don't know.
I'm excited
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
Had
forward
enough
to
of
it.
the Midwest.
because I think I've met some, but not all in person. So this will be exciting.
That's pretty much gonna be the whole squad. The only person I met so far is Goro because he's in the area right now, and that's the only person. I just don't want it to sound too sad here, but I don't get to hang out with anyone really. It's usually just online. That's it. So
Yeah.
to have
No, I get that.
everyone in IRL,
It's pretty rare, honestly.
mm-hmm.
It is rare.
Big rare.
Big rare.
I don't know why I said big rare, but it is.
It really
Small
is.
rare.
Unique drop.
Yeah. Drop rate 0.001%.
Exactly.
Gosh.
But it's going to be fun. I'm
Oh,
looking forward to it.
yeah.
But I guess on my little updates, in game at least, I fully leveled Monk, which is nice. So that leaves me with just Ninja, and then I will finally have every main job to 90, except for Blue Mage, because I haven't touched Blue Mage yet, but whatever. I got the main ones, the ones that matter.
Oh boy.
I just hurt someone's feelings and they're mad. I don't know whose,
Yeah.
but someone out there.
I mean, there are blue mage mains in that
Yeah.
they do a lot of the hard content that they can up to 70. I'm sorry, blue mages, you can only go to 70 right now. But yeah, they do raids and it's a whole different game, I'd say.
Yeah.
It definitely is. I don't know, it just doesn't interest me. Maybe I start leveling it and playing with it and I have fun. I don't know. It doesn't get me going, doesn't pique my interest. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
whatever. It's over there on the side.
Yeah.
But now I have Ninja, and then I'll get the highly acclaimed uh the feather headdress thing that everyone loves. It's the best reward ever.
Excellent.
Yeah, for leveling everything. It's so good.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Big
right up there
sarcasm.
with the super cool mount you got for everything at 80.
Yeah.
An
There's some
undieable feather headpiece.
Yep. Yeah.
I guess
That
going
pretty
into sorry, you go ahead and
No, I was just saying, like, I think that's pretty much it for the week.
pretty much, yep.
But I think what today's episode is going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge, kind of news updates, some other miscellaneous topics, nothing too concentrated, but yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Uh,
much. Just do some current events, if you will, and
yep.
some things we saw people talking about, and we're gonna throw in our 2 cents on all of it. And we're the final authority, so you can't question it. What we
Oh
say
my.
goes. I'm joking. Obvious sarcasm once again. Don't cancel me. I guess we start off with Yoshi P and doing his little thing in PAX.
Yeah, PAX East was recently.
Oh, is it
There's
this?
some news about Final Fantasy 14 and Final Fantasy 16. So yeah, I think we're all pretty excited about that came out.
Yeah.
16
Yep.
Final Fantasy 16 is due to come out in June,
Yeah.
and it's highly anticipated just because if you didn't know, it's Creative Business Unit 3, aka Yoshi's team, that is also doing Final Fantasy 16. And it does look pretty amazing, minus a few little kerfuffles that have surrounded it regarding diversity.
Yeah.
I honestly
But
haven't followed it much. I tend to just stay away from too much news, which I probably shouldn't. I should probably get more involved with that. But
oh
I
boy.
guess there's an issue you're saying with, I guess it's all white people or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there isn't a lot of diversity as game footage has shown or what they've shown us in the past of like about 16.
Hmm.
And I think in some interview someone asked about it specifically, and then Yoshi P was like, well, we wanted to stay sort of true to the historical timeline and events of like a medieval Europe or something like that. And that obviously, I mean, okay, Europe is a very large place and there was like travel and immigration during that time as well. So the idea that we're sticking to very fair-skinned people is kind of a bad cover story.
Yeah, and it's also a fantasy, a
Yeah.
Final Fantasy game, if you will,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
doesn't have any bearing on real anything.
No.
So you can do whatever you want. I mean,
Yeah.
and each Final Fantasy is its own universe, so to speak. So,
For sure. I mean, you look at like 7, you have Barrett, and then 9 or 13, you have Sa. Sa? Is that how you say it? SCAH.
I'm not sure. Not
Yeah.
sure. But yeah,
And then even in 14, there's a lot of diversity too. So it just seemed weird and not great that 16 kind of went that route. But
Yeah.
other than that, the game does look graphically good. Probably, hopefully, a good story. So we'll see.
I have a bit of faith, I guess. I don't. Yoshi P has done really well with 14. I feel like they've gone in really good directions. So yeah, I have faith a bit, but we'll have to see. We don't know until we play.
It's true. But yeah, the diversity bit would have been nice. Well, I still play the game probably. But it is good to see representation in games, especially for like, cosplayers or um just seeing somebody that looks like you in art is so it makes an impact. It, you feel more attached to it. You feel something more with it.
Yeah. Like as an artist, I personally I don't think it's that difficult to make diverse characters. And like I don't know, Yoshi's kind of explanation felt kind of weak to me. But like it really can make someone's day just like seeing a diverse cast because like it's I mean it's better. It's been getting better lately, but it it sucks when there's like a game that you really like, but there's like no one in there that looks like you, and it's like, huh, I wonder why this choice was made not to include anyone. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my thought on it.
Yep.
I wonder
Um,
if sometimes I don't know. I feel like because even when I've seen their development team, it's pretty much all just native Japanese people for the most part, as far as I know. I don't ever remember other
yeah.
than some of the different localization teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if in their development cycle it's just an echo chamber and they don't even think about it until people start looking at it and saying, "Yo, what?" And then but they don't
That
want to change it.
I'm sure
that could
that's
be
Like
possible.
part of it.
not like it's a malicious, but it's also kind of like you
Um,
didn't think about it. So a little
I think there's a little bit of that, but also they know they're making games for a global market.
true.
Yeah.
True.
So to kind of stay under the guise of like ignorance or we didn't know um is pretty naive, and frankly it really limits your global audience as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So
Yeah.
I could see that because Japanese is very homogenous. Japan. So I could see that, but also if you're trying to market to a entire like global market, then you need to adapt a little bit.
Hmm.
True. Especially now with how vocal people are, I guess, and I don't people are more observant of it. I'm not sure how to put it, but it's just people are going to call you out on it, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Definitely.
so the times have definitely moved and changed, and it's kind of, diversify it up a bit. We don't have to whitewash everything. Or
Yeah.
anything,
It's not
really. I
difficult.
mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
really not hard. It's, yeah.
Especially like in a fantasy setting. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, man. It just
Yeah,
seems really
that's
easy to
always.
do.
I understand if you're doing like a certain historical things and you're
Yeah,
representing
that's
like
different.
the English monarchy. Like, all right, yeah, that's gonna be a ton of white people. I get that, fine, but this is just a fantasy world. You could literally make up whatever you want. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have all been some minor tribe with blue skin and like that. All right, there you go. I just named Avatar. Dang it.
Yeah. Be careful.
Yeah. James Cameron's coming after you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crap. Sorry, people with magenta skin. I don't know. Whatever. You can make up anything you want. Like it's a fantasy
Pretty much.
setting.
Well, the funny thing is with 16, some of the artwork and some of the like locations that they've revealed, I'm like, that kind of has like maybe that's like a Middle Eastern sort of vibe,
Yeah.
or maybe that, so it was there. They could have easily done something, but
Mhm.
because there's
Yeah.
definitely places in 16 that are not your medieval castle looking like England. There's some different architectures in there for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Can you even? You can't really fix that at this point because you're at like the shipping stage and you've
Oh.
already got
Yeah,
everything.
no.
It is
It's
wrapped
too
up.
late.
Yeah.
It is.
But
It
I don't
is.
know. Maybe add-on stuff, expansion, DLC, something. Maybe as they add things.
I could see maybe their next title being a little more
Please.
At
receptive
least
to
that.
it.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, I could see that being a little more. I doubt they're going to change much now.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, no. At
But-
this point, it's too late, and that might be why he might realize they messed up, but he's also like, we can't do anything about this, so I'm just gonna try to
Yeah.
smooth it over and make it sound okay. I don't know, but that's just
Yeah.
reading minds at that point. I don't know what's.
Who knows? But hopefully, I hope just in the future, Square Creative Business Unit 3 are just a little more like receptive and cognizant of that diversity in art and games matters, and that to appeal to more of a wider audience, it would help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's more interesting.
It is.
Frankly.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So yeah, I guess moving beyond that,
Well, they talked
it was
about.
pretty.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it was just funny when Yoshi was like, "Oh, I'll have to talk to the Final Fantasy 14 game director and, check with the Final Fantasy 16 director." And he is both. So when he does that, he's making all these jokes of like, "I guess I'll talk to that producer and see what he says." He's referring to himself.
Yeah, so I did think that was pretty funny. I like the joke. He's done it a couple times now, I think, where yeah, he'll pretend like, oh, I better go ask the 16 director. I hope he's open to it. I am. He's both.
Yeah.
So
Just been like,
yeah, obviously there's going to be crossover content there. Like
yeah.
he wants it going both ways. It's going to happen both ways.
Oh, I'm sure it
Yeah.
will. I like when people ask him, like obviously, like I don't want to say obvious, but like it seems highly likely.
Mhm.
I would say
It'd be silly
obvious
not
is
to.
kind of like you have to ask as a reporter or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you want to confirm it, but it's pretty obvious because they've done crossovers with so many other
Yeah.
Final Fantasies in 11 and 8.
Well, they did the
and
whole thing with 15 when it
15.
was coming out as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, they've touched on so many of them. Yeah, there's no shot that the one he's working on isn't going to go into 14.
Right. We're gonna get a
So.
Clive hairstyle.
Oh boy.
I'm expecting a sweet mount. I don't know
That
what
would
it
be
is,
cool.
but a sweet mount would be pretty cool.
It would be cool if you bought like the 16 collector's edition that you'd get 14 things as well.
Ooh, that would be really nice.
That would be
But
kind of
yeah.
cool. Something, I don't know, a hat.
Oh God, no more hats.
The
I'm
Viera
worried
would
about
be
the
so
Viera.
upset. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe the few Hrothgar out there.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Burger
Hrothgar.
salad.
Yes. Please.
For burger
You're
salad,
out
please let him
there.
wear hats.
Oh. So yeah, 16 crossover. What else from PAX? I guess they said expect influences from Final Fantasy 2, 9, 7 remake, and 11 possibly.
11 is
Mhm.
interesting.
That would be interesting because I have never played 11, so I
I
don't know what that would
dabbled,
be.
so I don't really have any input because I think I got to like level 10 or something, which doesn't sound like much, but that was hours. That took a while.
11 was very different. So I've heard. I haven't played it,
Yeah,
but I've been.
so like 14, you level with story and the quests pretty much. If you're leveling alts, you go through dungeons and whatnot. In 11, you just go out and you grind. And you occasionally get quests here and there. Like, oh, there's a story over there. You run into this guy. There's no quests on the mini map. You just find
Yeah.
them, and obviously people can min max and like look up where quests are and stuff. But if you just log in and play, you're just kind of wandering around until you level up. So
I would imagine. Oh, sorry.
that's the gameplay loop. That's pretty much how it works.
Okay. I would imagine Final Fantasy 11 probably looks close to what 1.0 might have looked like.
Yeah.
They were
I've
similar.
definitely seen that.
Parts of it, you know.
Yeah, because the original development of 14 was influenced by 11 because they felt like 11 was pretty successful, so we'll just do that again. Like, but not kind of realizing that the MMO community had changed. So yeah, and then they broke it, and that was a whole thing.
And then WoW came out.
Well, yeah, WoW came out 2 years after 11 launched because I think 11 was 2003.
Man, that's
WoW
crazy to
was
think about.
2005.
Oh.
And WoW crushed them.
They really did.
Yeah. That was, just WoW just absolutely dominated. I feel like there's a lot of younger people that weren't, well, I mean, just people that were born in the 2000s now because they're old enough to be gaming, which is wild to think about.
Freaks me out.
Yeah.
Born in the 2000s.
No.
Yeah. They don't realize how big WoW was.
Oh my gosh, it was everywhere. I mean,
yeah,
there's like South Park and Simpson. There's so many cultural references and like everything about it.
they made Mountain Dew game fuel with Horde and Alliance. They made a blue and red game fuel.
Yeah, it was.
To commemorate, what was it? Was it MOP or was it Battle for Azeroth? I can't remember. It was one of the expansions.
But
It
yeah,
sounds familiar.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
It was a very big MMO.
Oh, they always had celebrities coming in for the different expansions.
Oh yeah.
They, I'm a Night Elf Mohawk with Mr. T.
Oh, Mr. T.
Yeah, and they had there was an event in Burning Crusade. Well, not an event, but an NPC that was the Night Elf Mohawk.
Oh my
and
god!
You would just walk up to him, and he would give you Night Elf Mohawk grenades, and you could turn people into Night Elves with Mohawks. And that was a thing for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, WoW is huge. And part of it too is when Final Fantasy 14 came out, it really wasn't that, all the bugs and issues it had, so people really didn't stick with it, and they're like, well, I'm gonna play WoW, I guess. And then 2.0 rolled around, and Yoshi P used, WoW as sort of a reference to design some things.
Yeah, in the No Clip, I know I brought it up with you guys before. You guys got to watch that. The No Clip documentary, he does in that interview, he says like, I looked at WoW and just said, what can we take from that? And like they borrowed a bunch of ideas from Cataclysm at the time. Because that was the biggest game. And he was like, they're the biggest game. Why? What makes that work? Let's do that. And that's pretty much and that's how we've gotten what we've gotten to today.
Yeah, it's just amazing that so many years after 2.0, like it really blew up.
Yeah, the game now is actually at its basically its peak, or at
Yeah.
least I don't know if it's at the peak. Peak it could go higher. We don't know, but it's currently at its highest point. Someone I saw posted somewhere the Steam numbers because that's the only hard numbers we can go with. But I think trends with the Steam numbers would be pretty reflective of the game overall. Um, the Steam numbers at Shadowbringers launch, I believe, was 41,000 players, which is
Wow.
fine for anyone like, oh, that's not a lot of people. Most people don't play on Steam. Most people
Yeah.
play just directly through the launcher. But yeah, it's like 41,000. The Steam player numbers at the 6.3 launch, so an odd patch on Steam in Endwalker was like 95,000.
Wow.
So a mid patch was bigger than the launch of the last expansion.
That says
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. So the
You-
game is definitely like way bigger than it was just 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Which, as much as people say, "Oh, the game's janky," it is. I won't lie, but it's still good. It
Mhm.
doesn't make it a terrible game. It's just, yeah,
There are definitely some issues that I'm sure the dev team is aware of. Um, but yeah, it's a 10-year-old MMO game built on top of a
a really
that's
bad
that.
MMO
A really
game.
bad. Yeah. So, we're dealing with some of that, and also the PS3 support really handicapped it in a lot of modern features. I kind of wish they just scrapped supporting PS3 even after they promised they were going to support it. Just
Yeah.
say no. The PS4 was already on the horizon. Just say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, because I feel like, yeah, there's definitely some artifacts probably still lingering around in the game code somewhere that are just relics from when that was a thing. Kind of like I pointed out before with the cities. So, like Limsa and Ulda and everything, they're all compartmentalized into different sections.
Oh yeah.
But later cities after PS3 support was removed are not. They're just completely wide open. Like Kagane is just a whole city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no
Yep.
like loading screens that you have to sit through
Right.
to get to different areas.
It's just one unified area instead of, oh, I'm at the Aetheryte. Time to run through a loading screen to get to the market board.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, I'd like to see a bunch of that go away. Maybe not unifying the cities into one giant area would be cool, but that's kind of low on the priority list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, let's see, at PAX East, Yoshi said the team is actively testing the graphics upgrade, and that they're possibly about halfway there in terms of work regarding the graphics update for 14.
Mm-hmm. And they kind of showed us some of that on the last live letter, or maybe the live letter before. They've shown us little previews.
Yeah. It looks nice. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I hope it's more beyond graphics, please.
Yeah, well, they what they showed us was definitely early, and they told us that it was like pre-alpha. This is early days, but we are working on it. Like, and it was just the
Yeah.
character model, but they are upgrading the whole graphics suite. Like everything is gonna get upgrades, which will be awesome. Because I already think the game looks good.
Oh yeah, I think it looks good. But yeah, I would like some of their code, just their like platform base engine code, net code, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rating
Well, I
is
think
just feels so bad.
Yeah, I mean the engine has the room to do things. Because Final Fantasy 16 is built on the same engine.
Oh no.
What?
It scares me. I don't like the way that sounds.
Huh?
So
Why would they do that?
they did that.
Is
No,
it?
yeah, it is. But the thing is that it's not the engine itself that's kind of screwed. It was the way things were built around what they built in 1.0.
Okay.
The engine itself is in-house. They built it themselves, and it works. They've used it in other games. It's fine. The MMO part kind of screwed it, and I'm telling you, I would love, Sujak, for you to watch it because you've got that software engineer background for you to hear how they describe it and the way that the whole thing, you think it's jank now. The 1.0 was the reason it was crashing in a lot of places was because there's like server pings every time you open your inventory.
Oh.
That's why if you're selling things, they have to slow you down if you sell too fast because the server can't keep up. Because it has to update and refresh every single time you move anything in your inventory.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, even down to moving things around, the server has to handle that. And it's weird. It's because they had teams develop everything alone. So, like, this team had their own little script for this little thing, and they developed that completely compartmentalized from everything else. And then the other team was working on this little thing, and the other team was working on. And no one talked to each other, and it just it's super janked.
Hopefully we get less jank. I'd be really happy.
Yeah,
definitely happy with the graphics update, but less jank would be nice too.
I think they're working on it. He had said he wants to do like a bunch of overhauls and work through that.
That'd be nice. At that point, though, I hope it's not, because like sometimes when you try and fix those things, it's almost near impossible, given how tightly interwoven everything else is with it.
Yeah,
and that you're like, we might just need to rewrite it.
Well, because he said he put it as we're gonna have to do an overhaul because if you look at like World of Warcraft, people will say it needs an engine update. Engine's fine. They've actually updated the game. It was their updates where they were slowly breaking things. Like, for instance, in WoW now, if you've noticed, if you go into areas with a ton of people doing like a world boss or PvP or anything with a bunch of people, the game just like stutters to a halt and it's terrible. Yeah. That was because a few years ago, they made a change where it used to be when you applied, say, a dot, it would snapshot whatever buffs you had and whatever debuffs the boss had or whatever. It would snapshot it and the dot would hit just for that. It wouldn't re-roll everything and remeasure everyone's buffs and debuffs. Now every dot tick gets a refresh. Like, is this buff still up? Is this still up? Is this up? Is there a change? And then it does the damage. Cursed. Yeah. So imagine that with 100 people.
No.
And, all the dots flying everywhere and debuffs and necklaces popping and this trinket going off and this thing. You see how that immediately like shit hits the fan. It's just yeah.
Oh, I remember that. It's like, guess I was somewhere where there were a lot of people because I can't move.
Yeah. Or that like a horde is coming in at you because all of a sudden your game tanks and you're like, oh boy. Here they come. Yeah. Yeah, it's so that was like not them trying to update things broke it, but not because the engine's outdated or bad. No, they made a weird decision that kind of ruined gameplay a bit.
Yeah. I think it also sometimes you just cannot test the scale at which an MMO is. You can test like maybe to an extent, but you really just can't test the live environment because there's just like hundreds of thousands, millions of players. You just can't test for that.
Yeah, you can't really hire a QA team that big.
Yeah, and even if you try and like, put your servers under load, like, gosh, it's still simulated load. It still won't mimic the real world, so it's like a lot of resources for some testing, but not all.
Yeah. That's, I guess, if they do any kind of overhaul, I do think they can't do a piecemeal thing where they fix one piece and another piece.
It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna have to be massive chunks. which is going to take a lot of testing and a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen people discuss that they think it'll never happen, and I disagree. Because Final Fantasy XIV is currently like it for Square Enix. That's their moneymaker.
It is.
They need it. Right now they absolutely need that game alive. It saved them from bankruptcy already. They've had several failed like games that they've had come out, and they've lost a bunch of money, except for like a handful of mobile titles and Final Fantasy XIV. So
Yeah.
if they sit there and say, yeah, we want this to last 10 more years, but we're not going to update anything on how the game operates, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And I think
Yeah.
they kind of know that.
I hope
They
so.
learned.
I hope
hope.
so.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was another point from PAX? Oh, housing enthusiasts.
Mm.
So Yoshi said he wants to expand the housing limit in the 7.x patches. I'm guessing that's just like something maybe on his wish list that hopefully they'll get to it.
Mhm.
I'm guessing it's not set in stone, so don't bank on it. But that would be really nice to expand the housing item limit, because let me tell you, it is hard to get 300 items only in a medium, and then for a large.
Oh boy, good luck.
Yeah, it's what is a large 300? Okay,
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah,
That
would be nice to upgrade that.
And I'm assuming more housing wards at some point too, maybe, potentially.
I
That
would
would be
like
good.
to see at least one more just new well, I don't know, when you say wards, do you mean like a new housing area or just more wards in the existing?
Maybe both. I don't know if I don't think a new housing district is going to be
No.
about, because they just
District
added
is the word.
Ishgard.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think a new district's coming soon. More wards would be
I think more wards,
the
because that's just
best
like
I would
server.
expect. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a new
Um,
district would be cool, and maybe not this expansion, but the next one.
I would love to see the options available. I'm very interested.
that would be
I
cool.
won't say because
Yeah,
spoilers.
my
but
two, I won't say the names, but the Shadowbringers
yes.
area
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Endwalker.
Yep.
I'd like to see something in one of those
I'd like
two.
the northern zone for me.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's high on my list.
I would love to see like a reconstruction thing,
Oh,
and we get like a little area out of that. That would be really cool. You know, like I did with
There's an
Ishgard.
area yeah.
Like do something like
The
that again.
Shadowbringers or
I was
Stormblood
thinking
area.
Endwalker.
Oh yeah.
Or
No, Storm.
or Storm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stormblood. I mean, it's been there for so long.
it
like,
has.
Please let me help them.
Big
Like,
true.
Please let me help them.
Well, we kind of did.
But like, it's still in shambles.
It is. It is still in shambles. But we did
just
help.
kind of abandoned that. We did. But
It's
man.
yeah. I'd like that. But there's so much that's there that they could do. It's kind of a good problem for them to have, because there's just content available that writes itself.
Yeah.
They could put in pretty much minimal effort, but still it's effort. There's so much. Like it's just the wish list could go on and on for things.
Oh, for sure.
But things, speaking of wish lists, Heart of Sabik. I'd like to know more
so I
about
guess
that.
That would be cool. I guess people who don't know the story won't really have a spoiler about Heart of Sabik. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see like where that might go. He said probably not a main focus, but it could return.
It needs to. They mentioned it. It was very prominent when they did bring it up. If you're playing through the game, you'll know it when you see it, but it's just something they bring up right there in front of your face, and then that was it. We haven't seen it since. that seems like a thing that we should probably know about, or at least where it came from, something.
Yeah, it was a big. It seemed important, and it's just they kind of just. Oh, yep. No, we're just gonna sweep that under the rug, I guess.
Yeah. Oh no, players won't notice.
We
We
noticed.
noticed.
We noticed.
We've all noticed.
Hold on, is it Heart of Sabik or Heart of Say?
It's Sabik.
Sabik. I've heard them say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sabik.
And La Habrea.
Oh, the
Well,
word.
He says it. Well, no, I'm not going to count that as a spoiler because you learn his name at like level 19.
Yeah.
So I don't feel too bad about spoiling a few things in a Realm Reborn specifically, just because
It's pretty soon.
yeah, you're gonna see it soon if you're in the game, and there's so much after that that
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
Realm Reborn is just kind of the setup for the real meat and potatoes that's gonna happen later. So,
Mhm.
not yeah, most Realm Reborn spoilers or whatever. In my opinion, just even knowing what
Yeah.
comes later, I won't
It's
reveal
like
the ending.
context.
Yeah, and there's a few things that like the end of the patch content of Realm Reborn. You guys know what I'm talking about. Heading into the next expansion,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't
Mhm.
spoil that because it's a big moment.
It
Mhm.
is.
I want people to experience that. But knowing La Habrea's name, be alright.
It's a name.
Heart of
There's lots
Sabik.
of other stuff.
Heart of Sabik. Oh well, you don't know anything
Yeah.
about
We
it
don't
anyway.
even know.
We don't even know,
Yes.
so whatever. I'd love for
Uh,
them to finally close that up. Just give us 2 minutes of a cutscene
There's
of just, hey, this is what that was. Oh,
yeah. There's a perfect opportunity just presenting itself like
there
in
is.
like end game, like right now, like Endwalker stuff, but
yeah, there's
I won't talk too
definitely,
much about it.
yeah, I don't want to go into that, yeah, but it's there. They've even said Endwalker is the end of that whole saga. This is the
Mhm.
time. This is the
Mm-hmm.
moment to finally
Please,
tell
yep.
us what this is.
That
Please
would.
remember that you mentioned this.
It's been 10 years. But he did mention it, though, by name, so
Mhm.
I think they do plan on closing that up and telling people finally. Uh, but as I said before, and he did mention he does intend for the game to be uh, going for the next 10 years. That's really his goal. So
Mhm.
graphical
I think.
update makes sense.
Yeah, I think in order to keep its popularity for a while, 10 years or so, yeah, it's gonna have to be some pretty significant platform updates in terms of quality of life,
Yes.
Please.
graphic updates, and then also the story just really needs to be on par with like what happened in Shadowbringers, I think.
Yeah, I'm worried about that because I know all of us here enjoyed Shadowbringers a lot. Even kind of for me personally, comparing it to Endwalker, I didn't dislike Endwalker, but I definitely think Shadowbringers was the strongest of the two.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried that they won't be able to top that because that's just kind of like something that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
I'm
am okay
curious.
with them not topping it because it was so good. I'll be
Hmm.
pleasantly surprised if they do. And I
Yeah.
love it. But
I mean, I would be really happy if they do. But like I think I just mean like they need a good compelling story.
yes.
Maybe
Yeah.
not topping Shadowbringers because we all are like holding near and dear to our heart, kind of like Empire Strikes Back, you know. Um,
Hmm.
Mhm.
like, but something good, compelling that keeps you drawn in, which I guess
Yeah.
might could probably swing into like the whole content drought discourse.
Oh yeah.
Um, because yeah, right now at this point of the game, we have wrapped up pretty much all of the expansions,
Hmm.
and we're in this sort of like lull period, setting up maybe something, but we're not really sure what yet. Um, and so people have been saying, it's a content drought, no one's playing, blah blah blah.
I hard
Uh,
disagree on that.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
know some
definitely
people say that the game is dead, but it's not.
It's alive to
It
me.
has very strong numbers right now. I don't I don't see the dead part.
Yeah, I could definitely see people pausing their subs if they want
Mhm.
Oh, it's definitely
to
at
come
that
back.
moment. Yeah, sure.
Mhm. But I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do, and you know, I might get like chastised for saying like there's a lot of stuff to do in the game, and when people are like, "Whoa, have you done all the blah blah?" But like it does hold some truth because yeah, you have some relics you want to finish up, maybe some storylines, some quests, some reputations. Um, if you want, you were lucky enough to win a house, have you decorated it? Um,
Deep dungeons.
deep
Yeah.
dungeons.
Those are always a
And
thing.
honestly, if those things aren't your cup of tea, then they're not your cup of tea. Fine. No one's forcing you to play, but like just know there's so many other things to do.
Yeah.
It really is. There's it I guess I also understand the story isn't very, I guess compelling would be the word right now, and it's not that the story's bad that has been happening through the patches. It's just that like when Endwalker ended, the patch content isn't really talking about Endwalker. Like Endwalker kind of sealed itself up. It's good to go.
Mhm.
And the patches are literally just an in between. They aren't leading into, because they said this in one of the live letters, that the patch content story isn't leading into the next expansion. It's just its own little story that they wanted to tell. And so so maybe 5.5 will have a little lead in, I would assume. I say
You mean
5.5, but the final patch before the
yeah,
next expansion, whatever that might be. That might have a lead in, I would imagine. But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
that's it. Like that's all we're gonna get. The rest is just waiting.
Filler. It's
Yeah.
Mhm.
filler.
So it just kind of falls a little flat, but it is good. I have enjoyed the story content of the last few patches. It's
Mhm.
interesting. It's interesting lore going on.
Mhm.
But we also know like it's not the next big thing.
No,
So
it's all in sort of in between stuff.
yeah.
Uh,
I guess I
and I
say that
guess
I feel like that's a bit of a lull to some people, but
it is. I think if you've been playing Final Fantasy 14 for like 5 to 10 years or so, it probably is going to feel like a content drop for you because you've probably done Baja, you've probably done your relic weapons, you've probably done deep dungeons. And if you wanted to do like big fish, you would have done it already, or you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I get that.
mhm. Mhm.
Um, so yeah, if you've been playing for 5 to 10 years, I could see being like, yeah, this is a content drought. I could see that. Me as someone who started playing in 2021, um, I still have a lot of stuff to do.
Mhm.
Same. But I feel like I haven't even done half the things I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Yep,
There's
like
just so much
leveling
of it.
jobs.
I'm almost there.
Um,
I'm almost there.
you're almost there.
So
Yeah,
close.
leveling jobs.
Yep.
Maybe if you want to do like mid-eye level, no echo.
Yeah, that's
Um,
still definitely out
I
there.
100% want to actually do some stuff like that.
just get like those early raids and just do them as they were during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely can do that.
That's a big one for me that I'd like to do.
But yeah, I guess yeah. Is there like I would say it isn't a content drought. It's more of like a story drought.
That's a good way to put it. Because there's definitely content out
Yeah.
there. It's just like a matter of if it's something that you personally like want to do, or you haven't done yet, or maybe you already did it because you've been around for a while. But if you're like here for the story, like you're a strictly like MSQ player, that's why you log in. Yeah, there's probably not a whole lot that you might be interested in doing.
Yeah, I could see that,
I
and
do
that's
feel like
okay.
the relic, I don't know, I don't know. I didn't do any of the other relics except for I sharded the Shadowbringer
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
relic.
Basha.
Yeah, but I don't remember the first two steps because it seems like right now we've got the first two steps. Weapons look cool, but
Mm-hmm.
I
to
think
get them
the
is the same thing twice. and it's
Yeah,
just take this currency, and that's it.
the first steps for Shadowbringers relics were
Tombstones.
tombstones
Yep.
and then fates
Yeah.
Mm,
in different regions.
yep.
So, I mean, would you all want to be grinding fates and like Shadowbringers? Or just
Oh,
being like, here's my tombstones, just take them, thank you.
I
I
don't mind
mean,
having a
I
reason
would,
to go
I
back
would
and
like,
revisit. Like it's fun to me. I also just kind of like doing fates.
yeah. I just think the first two relic steps are usually just pretty underwhelming,
yeah.
Yeah.
usually. Because
I'm waiting.
I've done a Realm Reborn relic, I've done Heaven's Ward relic, uh, Shadowbringer is almost done, and then obviously doing the Endwalker. I did not touch Stormblood relics for obvious reasons. Uh, but yeah, I've done those relics. And yeah, the first couple steps of each one are usually not that amazing.
Well, we have 2 more steps, right?
Oh, I think we have
Probably more than that.
more than that.
I was just thinking about patches. I don't, because they're usually in the 05 patch,
We'll
right?
probably. I feel like we might get It might. Will we get another step in 6.4 or maybe 6.45 or something like that?
Maybe 4 or 5. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but there's definitely going to be more than. There's going to be some steps.
Yeah, there's got to be more.
Yeah.
It's like this is like the first 2 steps have been so easy compared to like I personally have only really done the Bajia relic. Well, I technically did the Stormblood one too, but I was in it for the mount. Um but
Hmm.
those took a lot of time. Um so I'm kind of waiting for the steps that eat up more of your time and effort. Um but maybe this relic will be different. And it's aimed, maybe the grind that everyone's looking for, maybe the grind was actually the prerequisite to having access to these relics, because there's a
Manderville
lot
quest.
of, yeah, you have to do all the Manderville quests, and that starts in A Realm Reborn. So if you didn't do it until like you heard about these relic weapons, you have a grind ahead of you.
That's true. That is big true.
Yeah,
Um,
that is a big yeah.
I do think there's going to be some sort of grind.
There has to.
There has to
Hmm.
be either doing some raids, doing some fates, doing, some dungeons. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably next step they start doing that, I would imagine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm not super disappointed with the relic as it is now. It's fine. Like,
No.
Yeah.
if anything, grinding your tombstones for that, you can do a whole bunch of different roulettes. It's
Yep.
fine, and it mixes it up. So unless you're a hunt train, like gotta min max everything, so I do the hunt train.
You're probably
Oh.
like halfway there if you're going that route.
I
It's
saw
not
some,
that bad.
I saw someone post that they have done all of their relics.
I can believe that
Um,
100%.
That
Like if you
is,
catch those trains,
mm-hmm.
it's easy.
Yeah, they're like, I never want to see a hunt train again.
Huh.
Oh gosh,
That's a lot of hunting.
that is a lot of
Yeah.
hunting. But I think the other point of contention has been Island Sanctuary.
Oh boy. Oh my island.
People just
It's in
call it.
shambles.
They just call it Excel spreadsheet simulator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't I barely use that system, and I know there's cool things in it. I know. There's so many cool things. I really want like that fountain thingy. That looks so cool, but I I tried it. I played it a little bit, and I was like, I don't really care about doing this,
Yeah,
and I just neglected it completely.
makes sense. It's not super. It doesn't grab you and want you to come back. What grabbed me and wanted me, like I wanted to come back for, is the glams.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got my glams and I left. My
Yeah.
crops are withered. My animals are probably like eating each other. I have not been back to my island after I got my little visor.
Go back. There's a giant alligator in a pen,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
beefed up.
yeah. That's kind of, and I used it to get materia, and that's what I use it for. But it's okay. Could it be better? I think so. I honestly would be highly delighted if they did put instance housing on it one day.
I think that would be very cute and very
Hmm.
nice because, like, even though I know they added a ton of housing lately, but still there are people who have just been terribly unlucky in the lottery and they haven't been able to get their house yet. And they're kind of waiting for new plots to open up. Granted, with
Yeah.
demolition happening again, it's more likely, but it's still, there's a chance you just don't get a house. So being able to have that option of like instance housing or like even just because like there's apartments and stuff, but I think instance housing on an island, like a little island getaway, I think that would be really cute. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah,
That'd be
even
nice.
you get like that little hut
Hmm.
thing. Like maybe if that was turned into something you could, even if it's limited, but you can at least customize
Yeah.
or something. Just you can do something with it. I don't. Maybe not full out housing per se.
I feel like the community is just gonna come at it with pitchforks until it is instance housing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that tends to happen.
because
But I think
Looking at Malvira.
because I love the way housing is because the neighborhood thing is so cool.
it is cool.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, to have like everyone does get this base level of a house. Maybe it has limited items you can put in, like I don't severely limited 100 items that you can use. Which
An apartment.
yeah, like
Hmm.
just like that, and then there you go. People can come visit your island, and then it does make the
Yeah.
island more interesting.
Yeah.
Gets that Animal
Hmm.
Crossing. Yo, this is my vacation house. Like
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah. I think also too to have instance housing, I think a lot of people who do want to pause their subs or want to
Mm,
take a step away from the game, but also want to have a house and like a yard to decorate, that's like a perfect thing for them.
yeah.
Yeah, it's. I hope they. I hope they keep going with it. They do a lot of
Hmm.
things that I don't know. So many of the systems stay relevant in some way, shape, or form, even years later.
Yeah.
Like the restoration project from Heaven's Ward. That one is still relevant. It's still one of the best ways to level crafters and gatherers in the game. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal, and people still do it. It still has relevant like you can get little mounts and stuff and pets, and I still see people all the time if you go over there, just in there doing things. There's I'm blanking right now, but a lot of their older content does just stay relevant, and I hope the island gets expanded on a bit and doesn't get abandoned. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it is,
Sort of feels that way right now.
yeah,
Hmm.
it has potential. It'd be nice to have it carry on with
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
Oh, so swinging back to like this Final Fantasy 16 and 14, what do you all think about the thing where people say like, "Oh, Final Fantasy 14 is going to be sort of subject to the limited, the split time in development between, with Yoshi P on two
Mm.
titles, and then CBU 3 also on two titles." Like, do you think 14 is going to have a detrimental impact from that?
I see the concern, but I have enough faith in them that they won't do that. And also, 14 has literally been like making so much money. They like, I think they know better not to let the game fall through the cracks. But look, I'm putting so much faith in the team here. Please,
Please.
please don't mess this up. I don't think they're going to, but we'll see.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
will see.
I don't know how they structured it. Like, who did they take people off of 14 to work on 16? Did they hire
Uh,
more? Like, I imagine they had to have hired more people and expanded to accommodate 16. And then like
Yeah,
Yoshi P working on both, I don't see that as a huge issue because 14 Like when he started with 14, yeah, he had to micromanage like crazy because
Mhm.
of the craziness. They were rebuilding an MMO in 2 years. It was stupid. Like no one's done that. What are you doing? You're crazy. He had to micromanage to make that work. But now they've got things on such a step by step pattern. Like people know what they need to be doing at this stage. So he can probably step back from that and just do the check ins, so to speak, I guess,
Mhm.
while he focuses on 16. So I don't feel his split time is going to be hurting 14. And I doubt they abandon 14. It makes no sense to me.
It
If
would
that's
be
their cash
silly.
cow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hey, that thing's making us a lot of money. We're cutting your staff in half. What? We're alive because of you or because of 14. Like this doesn't exist. None of this is happening without 14. What are you?
But businesses do some weird shit.
That's true.
Yeah, their new CEO or whatever, he wants NFTs in the games,
No,
which
no, we don't want them. We don't want them.
literally
Why are we still talking about NFTs?
I don't know.
Please.
I
In the year
don't.
2023, no more.
Every time it's like, hey, what's the benefit of having
Mm.
NFTs in games? Well, I can trade it on a marketplace. So like the way Steam does it without NFTs. Yeah, but this is decentralized, so someone could steal it. Right, got
Yeah.
it.
Let me get my screenshot button ready.
Oh my gosh.
It's even because you get so many where they do like these pump and dump schemes, and then people just shut down the network and walk away, and then
Yeah.
you're left with nothing, and it's like
Yep.
this.
Mm.
These
And then-
NFTs don't make any sense. I don't.
No.
Oh, and then people cry about like how come there's no like government bailout? I'm like, do you not understand the word decentralized or the concept?
Yeah,
Well,
it's so I don't know why they want this in games. Some people have this pie in the sky thing that I'll get this NFT and then it'll work in multiple games. That's not how things work.
yeah.
If you got a skin like in one game, the other game would have to agree to get that skin and
Right.
remap it for their game and it work.
Mhm.
And then at best it's within the same company because like another company probably isn't going to agree to support that NFT forever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, why have the NFT if it's in house? It's all within their games. Just keep it in their system. Like, why? Yeah, you don't need these weird tokens and everything, and
No.
it all feels like a cash grab.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like, but anyway, I
Yeah.
hope 14 development doesn't suffer. We'll see. I'm really anxious to see how 7.0 is gonna play out, and chances are 7.0 is not gonna come until like early 2024. So we have like a year left, I think, of Endwalker.
I
Mhm.
think easily a year, maybe a bit longer. I don't know yet. I think the telling point is going to be FanFest.
Yeah.
Because if we don't get any reveal at FanFest at
Oh,
all,
then it's
yeah, we've got it's got a serious ways to go. Because
Mhm.
yeah,
And I know people are going to be really like I think people are still hoping that'll be end of this year possibly, and I'm like no way. It's not
That would be pushing it.
They would at
Shot.
least by now, if it was coming end of year, they would have already at least given us a name and something. Not like a full trailer, obviously. That doesn't come till later. But anything that we haven't heard of, not even a whisper. We don't have
No.
any information. So
It's not going to be till next year.
yeah,
Or like Q1 at the earliest, possibly maybe probably Q2.
yeah, I'm feeling spring, maybe summer. They might hold it to summer. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to. But yeah, it's
See where Square's fiscal year ends and see if because I doubt they're going to try and show 16 and 14 release in the same fiscal year.
Jeez. Yeah.
So whenever Square's fiscal year ends, I could imagine let's do a search for that.
You know what they might actually do also? because we're looking at a really long time frame
Mm-hmm.
where we could end up on the 5.5 patch for longer than ever before.
I hope not. But so their fiscal year, I think, ends March 31st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I could see like an April release. April 2024.
because we're
Calling
Oh
it.
even
boy.
because if we're on the
God.
same kind of cadence as Shadowbringers almost, if we're, I don't know. I just feel like 5.5 could be out a long time. We could see the first like 0.6 patch
Oh,
as a lead in
Mm.
to the new expansion, just to keep everyone.
that would be spicy.
It would be, but it could keep everyone like, whoa, I'm interested. Like if it's just a story patch, just to say, yo, this is what's happening. Here's the teaser. Oh boy,
Yeah.
there's a thingy in the sky. I don't know what.
Oh my god. There's got to be something though.
Yeah.
There's Dalamud 2.0 incoming.
Oh my
Look out.
god.
But yeah, if their fiscal year ends March 31st, I could see like an April 2024 release,
That's what I
maybe.
was thinking would be probably the
Mhm.
earliest would be April,
Yeah.
That seems pretty comfy.
especially
That
if
gives me
they
time to save up time off for 7.0.
yeah, especially if they because I think FanFest is the earliest they're going to do any announcement,
It's
and I
Yeah.
think that's weird. I think they have to
yeah.
because you have to announce something,
It's
especially if
expected.
if the game is going to release say in April, which seems
Mhm.
most likely. Like, I mean, that's what 8 months out. So in July, you definitely
Yeah.
want to announce your expansion 8 months before it comes out. You know, you want to build the hype and get people.
Yeah.
Oh man, oh I'm excited. Oh man, I'm gonna resub and like catch up on things. That gets
Mhm.
people going. Like you got to give us
Yeah.
something. So
Yep. I could see that. But yeah. I hope 7.0 will be a good compelling story.
Mhm.
Please.
I hope so, and I want it to be a return to normal adventuring in a sense, like because I've replayed the game and I played Realm Reborn again, and like as much as I don't like the fetch quest thing constantly, I really hope they work on that. Uh, it's fun to just be an adventurer a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we like lose some of our power story wise.
I can see
And
that. I'll be
yeah,
careful about my explanation with this because
yes.
I don't want to talk too much. But definitely considering some of the choices that were made by the group in the end of Endwalker, I think there's like they're kind of trying to push towards us just being like a normal guy or gal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
normal adventurers again. There's no like, oh God, it's this person. They're so important. Everyone knows that they're this important person, sort of deal.
Yeah.
Um, I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna be. There's gonna be some sort of return to just normalcy, like normal adventure. Um, and I think that makes sense if the story is going to be for 7.0 forward is going to be like a different chunk, excluded from uh the one that we had from A Realm Reborn through Endwalker.
Yeah. I could I that would be nice cuz yeah, you go through some of the later expansions and you're like this like, you know, super hero warrior of light
Yeah.
You
and
yeah.
just your powers are unmatched. And
Mhm.
now it's like, well, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, not even being this isn't even a spoiler. Like you're a god killer in Realm Reborn, like straight out the gate, basically.
Yeah.
Like you hit the ground running, and so like we've gotten to this point where yeah, we're just it. Nothing can stop us. There needs to be a bit of a reset,
Mhm.
and they kind of hinted at yeah, we're gonna bring you back to being an adventurer again. So I think
Mhm.
something is there.
Mhm.
And it would make sense. Like the lore is there. It makes sense
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
guys know why, so I don't want to give
Oh
the
yeah.
big spoiler, but we know why. It makes sense for us to lose some of that juice and
Yep.
take a step back. So it would be interesting. And where we go, I don't know. I think
I don't know.
I have guesses, but I don't
Same.
know because there is the land of Miracidia, um, which is
Yeah.
just
There's
it's
like
another
a whole
continent we
list
haven't
of things.
seen. So I'm not spoiling anything, guys. We've never been there. I don't
We
know.
don't know what it
Total
is.
guess,
Yeah.
shot in the dark. But I feel like
Even
that would make sense.
even to the on the east too. There's some parts on the east that we haven't really explored yet either.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's apparently another continent. I need to reread
What?
some stuff on it. There's another
The New
continent out
World.
there that we haven't gone to. Yeah, we have a new
Oh.
world. Like that it's out
Yeah.
there, it's documented, it's mentioned, but
Blue
like
Mage Quest or something.
yeah, only a few people have gone there. It's in because I got the Encyclopedia Eorzea thing. It's in there. A few explorers have gone there, but
Mhm.
there's like a whole land we just haven't seen.
Yeah.
Uh there's some island nations that we haven't seen. That's like Lalafell came from them.
Oh yeah, the Southern Sea
Yeah,
Isles.
we haven't been out to those at all. Like there's
I'd like to go there.
yeah, like there's
Yeah.
massive chunks of the world we just like we don't know about. Meracidia had a whole quest line dedicated to them. I won't. Do you guys know about what? Do you
Oh,
know which one I'm
yeah,
talking
I
about?
think I know which one. Yeah. Was it in Heaven's Word?
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Do you know what that is, Sujak?
Maybe.
You might have skipped the dialogue on those. It's well, it's not a spoiler. I can say the extreme trials are related to
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Meracidia.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's not a
Yep.
spoiler, guys, because yeah,
No.
that's just
Yeah.
it's related to that land. So you'll see. So I think that's a big one that we could go to. But yeah, it'll be
Mhm.
interesting. I'm really hoping they do a good job. Bit of a reset. The story's not grandiose to start, and we build again.
Yeah. Let's do it.
But
Okay.
man, we really
Should we
went
move
into a
on?
lot there.
Yeah,
But
we did. I guess some other, let's see, minor things coming up. So there's gonna be maintenance in North America for 24 hours because we're getting hardware updates.
Yay.
that's because it
Nice.
said like a full server upgrade. It looked like.
I'm assuming they're doing this all in preparation for 7.0.
Well, and I don't
Yeah.
think they've done an upgrade since like it's been years. And server hardware, because I love listening to, I love keeping up with hardware. I find hardware so interesting. Even server, like server performance has more than like quadrupled since I think the last time they even bought servers. Uh, so yeah, an upgrade could be massive from server
I think it was
stability.
due time.
Well, and I
Due time
think
for one too.
maybe with their new, because they did some netcode updates that kind of made things weird and
Oh
janky.
yeah.
Maybe that's in preparation for new servers coming online. Like they felt like they could make it work on current hardware, but the new hardware is gonna like utilize that better. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, we'll see.
hypothesize whatever. I can't speak right now.
Hypothesizing.
Yes, there we
I'm,
go. I don't know why I
I
couldn't.
guess some hiccups.
It's
So after that,
Sorry,
there
what?
might be some hiccups after the hardware upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm betting on it. Just after just from like past maintenance situations. Yeah. There were
You think?
some issues.
Yeah.
Thinking of those P8
Oh
reclears where
God, we were
everyone's
trying
just
to clear
disconnecting.
P8 us, and it was after what 6.3?
Well, that was the same one
I think so.
that was when they did the netcode change.
Yeah,
Uh,
So this
and we were
shouldn't
trying to
be
just do clears,
yeah.
and holy
That was
moly,
everything was lagging. I couldn't even do dungeons.
everyone was disconnecting. Like, can you imagine trying to do P8S with that? Ugh, ugh.
I think that ended up being a really successful run. Were we able to actually finish, or did we have to do it on a different day? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
God.
But it was cursed. Let's just say, like, snake memes
Oh,
plus
Mm-hmm.
plus the server, and then trying to do like NA1 and NA2 with server tick and lag and disconnecting. I was like,
so
this is
fun.
high
It throws
concept.
an element to random
Yeah,
into the mechanics.
yeah, yeah. It was pain. So anticipate some server hiccups after the hardware upgrades. Let's see, what are the other things? Oh, the Final Fantasy Puma collection.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
I think it's available now if you want to purchase Puma Final Fantasy 14 crossover merchandise. The ads for that were really interesting.
They were
I
just odd to
I
me.
don't even think I watched them.
They felt really uncanny valley to me, just the way the characters were rendered for some reason. I don't know, it just felt very off. I was not
Yeah,
a fan.
I was okay. The thing that bothered me the most was Estinian's legs.
Ah, he's a dragoon.
It,
How is he jumping and not
he's a
breaking on impact?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like 2 6 legs. I'm like, bro, like these.
it, it was bad.
The ad just like if you're curious, like just search Final Fantasy 14 Puma ad, and you will see because it's like some CGI'd version of like Estinian and Elfino and was it Alice?
Alize. Yeah, I did not like the one with Alize. She was doing like these really weird poses. It just looked really
It
awkward.
was
It's like, what are
weird.
you doing?
I need to
It was
watch
weird.
these at some point, but
It's terrible.
I can say I looked at the collection and I was just like,
Mhm.
what is this?
Yeah.
What, this doesn't look like Final Fantasy at all, other than you slapped a meteor on it. Like that was it. I
The
don't.
only one I liked was the Fat Cat hoodie because it's covered in Fat Cat. But like, that was it. Like, I'm not gonna get it, but the rest kind of fell a little flat to
Yeah,
me.
like I saw there was a pair of purple shoes. I was like, what does this have to do with anything? With,
It's
with Final
purple.
Fantasy, it's like just a purple shoe. Okay,
I
cool.
mean,
I guess.
if you like, I mean, I could see some people getting really hyped about it and being like, "Oh, this is really cool looking." Like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if you like it, you like it. I,
yeah,
I don't really understand.
They're not to my taste personally, but
yeah, that and the price too.
I didn't check the price. Oh god.
I didn't want to know. I just can only
I
imagine.
feel like there was a 14 upcharge.
Probably.
Probably $150 for the shoes.
Oh gosh, I don't even know, but
I
I
don't
think
know
some
either, but I'm just assuming.
That's
It's
pricey. But anyway,
yeah.
that is out if you're so interested in getting some gear to look, maybe some Puma fashion plus your favorite characters and themes from Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Oh, so we did have a sort of hot take Reddit
Mhm.
threads that we wanted to kind of cover. So we'll move into this in a rapid hot take segment here.
Yeah, I remember the post. I don't. Yeah, I don't have it up. That's unfortunate. Or wait, which one do you
No,
want to go for first? Sorry.
let's do the most recent, the ready check.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the ready check, basically someone was in a dungeon and they just went and pulled and the healer wasn't ready and got mad that there wasn't a ready check before pulling in the dungeon, proceeded to grief the group, like trying to rescue the tank to murder the tank.
Oh
And
my.
yeah, and so their question was, is it really expected to have a ready check? Should I have done this? Am I in the wrong?
No.
No. What?
No.
Absolutely not.
Dungeon.
Like, I mean, I get, first of all, it's a dungeon. You shouldn't need a ready check at all. Like,
No.
No.
there's a few points where you should look around, obviously. Like at the beginning, I usually take a moment and make sure everyone's moving. Because
Yeah.
sometimes people hit the commence button and then they're, I've been there. Oh, now the dog wants to go out, of course. So I usually give that moment, just wait. All right,
Yeah.
are they here? Is everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't. You just forget and you just pull, and then you realize, oh, the healer's not ready. Oops, and you die and whatever.
No
You
big
just
deal.
go back to the beginning and you wait a moment. I've never had a big issue. But
The ready check.
yeah, a ready check, or at the end of a dungeon before you pull the last boss, because there's a cutscene
Make
that'll
sure no one's
play.
in cutscene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make sure no one's in cutscene. You don't really need a ready check in a 4-man group.
No, you can
No.
literally just see if they're viewing cutscene.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
wait
the
for
little
everyone to
icon.
cross the purple line. Once you're over, like, yep, everybody's here. We're good. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so weird. I don't know why someone would get so mad about that.
That's
Mhm.
odd behavior, I would
Yeah,
say.
kind of toxic, I'd
Yeah, that
say.
doesn't typically happen.
That does not happen. I've never encountered that. I will say, so I think someone then posed the question, so when do you ready check? And mostly everyone is like, if you're in an extreme trial, savage raider ultimate, if you don't do
Yep.
a ready check and a countdown, you're trolling.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Anything beyond that, not really warranted. Some people said in an alliance raid with 24 people, like you can if someone's still viewing the cutscene to see which alliance might still have some cutscene watchers, but they're like, don't expect 24 people to wait.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people will just go.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
will.
But usually the cutscene, like the boss fights, especially the final boss fight, can take a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the cutscene, you're maybe gonna miss the first 20 to 30 seconds of the fight, which is
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah, you'll get teleported in, and
Yeah.
you'll be all right. Just
Yeah.
but dungeons, obviously, that's whatever. We already talked about that.
Need a
So,
ready check.
but the ready check
Um,
mostly harder content, I would say.
Mhm.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Standard ready check. If you're progging, obviously a lower countdown, maybe 5 seconds, which unfortunate for some classes, but when you're progging, you're just trying to run
Get
it
as many
and
pulls in.
yeah, get pulls
Yeah.
in.
Sometimes when I do normal raids, I won't do a full on like 16, 18-second countdown, but I will do like a 5.
Oh, I love to see that if I'm playing a job with an opener. We have to do
Some
stuff before.
people know, like, because I know, like, dancers might want to start their standard step, or ninjas
Yeah.
might want to get their huton off and hide, or, pre-casting, like a thunder or something. Like, I get that. So sometimes I'll do a 5-second countdown. Sometimes people just don't care, and they pull anyway, which I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Like, okay. But sometimes if I'm tanking and I have the stance on, I'll be like 5-second countdown. And of course,
I
there's always
love
somebody
that.
screw that and they'll pull anyway.
Yeah, it's not a big deal though. Like I am a bit of a perfectionist, so
Hmm.
if I'm playing a job that has an opener where I have to do stuff pre-pull, I typically like I go in knowing like okay, this is just if there isn't a countdown. If there is a countdown, I'll be happy and I'll perform as usual. But it's not like required.
It's not. I'd say the only time a ready check would be required would be extremes, savage, ultimate, unreal too. You could throw
Yeah,
that in.
Unreal.
But outside of that, it's optional
Optional. Yeah.
Yeah,
and not needed in dungeons.
yeah. Anyone getting mad about that is probably in the wrong. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially in a dungeon. Like what?
That's silly.
That
Yeah.
is silly.
You're getting mad for just nothing. I don't.
Yeah. And honestly, I think if I were in the dungeon and I were a warrior, I'd just be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Just keep pulling.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
Like,
happened
I
in
got
that person's story. They just eventually kicked the healer because they kept just being toxic and trying to ruin it. It's like, what's your problem? Just okay, bye. I actually had a similar story, like a personal. This happened to me. With the you tank you pull,
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
mentality of people, because I'll never forget it. This tank was running in. And keep in mind, we're in. It's called Halatali. It's a low-level side dungeon. It's not even MSQ.
Very
It's
low.
yeah, like level
Like
22, I
20?
think,
Yeah.
or something. Like it's
Oh my god.
it's easy. It's easy mode the whole way through, and the tank went to pull, and I accidentally body pulled something to the side because it's an older dungeon. They didn't quite make it the hallway dungeon like other current dungeons. And he was like, if you pull extra, you tank it. I was like, what? Dude, I pulled one thing. What? He was like, I wasn't talking to
Just
you, but I wasn't trying
saw
to call
you.
anyone out either. And I'm like,
What?
you literally just did. So
My
what are you
God.
talking about? And everyone else was like, yeah, guy, what are you on? What's going on here? And he's still kept going on about, oh, well, I don't like this archer pulling in front of me and pulling extra mobs doing and we're just sitting there. What is he talking about? What, we're just pulling this room. We did the thing. What's the big deal here? And they got really really mad and were yelling at all of us and then left the dungeon group. And here's the
Yeah.
silly part. We went and continued doing the dungeon with no tank and killed the first boss without him. Like, completely unnecessary. I don't know what his deal was. We didn't even need him. And I don't know. I understand where there is an irritation of if you're running up ahead because someone's doing one pack at a time and then you run ahead and pull the next pack trying to force the tank to pull more where maybe they don't feel comfortable or something, whatever. Like, I can understand being a bit irritated with that, but this wasn't even that. Like, the tank was running at it. The guy just happened to shoot it before he got there. And I
Yeah.
don't see that as wrong or a bad thing.
No.
No.
It's not
There
hard for
was
the tank to grab aggro. Like, it's really
oh.
easy.
So I guess I would say that the whole you tank it, you pull it mentality is not there for 14. It's fine. Like you're a team. Like if you're a tank, grab the aggro. If you're a healer, heal. If you're DPS, DPS. But like if someone pulls an extra mob, you just evoke it or AoE the mobs and you're fine. Like it's fine. Everyone's fine. It's a dungeon.
Hmm.
I did see a Twitter post. It was a while back. It wasn't super recent when somebody was like, I think they were a mentor, and they said, if I join a dungeon with a sprout tank and they're not pulling wall to wall, I just leave. And that, my friends, is not the way to play.
Especially as a mentor. Like, if they
Yeah,
were. I don't know if
Yeah.
they were or not, but I could see mentors doing that.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of mentors that have zero interest in mentoring.
They just like,
Yeah.
They want the crown. They want the Burger King. You know. Yeah, I don't let tanks pull. Tanks don't get ticked off if somebody, shoots something right before you touch it. It's
Hmm.
it'll be fine.
it's not a big
AoE, he'll
deal. That was a big WoW mentality too. I had to deal with that several times in dungeons where the tank would literally not even attack anything if like a hunter tagged something as they're running up to it. Like, not like the tank was just sitting back, hanging back, and then the hunter just pulled trying to rush.
Mhm.
But like the hunter pushed an ability as the tank is running up to it, and the arrow hits because it flies over your head. Okay,
Yeah,
Th-
it'll happen.
they
It,
pulled
it
half a second before you. Why are you angry right now? What? I don't
like
understand
it's
that. Like, just chill. It's okay.
I'd say, yeah, with usually if I'm healing sprout tanks, I'll say you can pull as much or as little as you want. I'll keep you alive. And then just let them go at whatever pace they want.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so if they're single pack pulling, fine. Maybe this is the first time they're tanking. Okay. Um, if they're doing wall to wall, sometimes I'd rather that if they're then pulling wall to wall at level with like 30 item levels below what's recommended for that dungeon.
mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
That happens, and I'm like, I'm trying to keep you up, and it's just not working. I'm so sorry.
Or I don't. I also find it frustrating as a healer. Like, I don't yell at anybody, but it's kind of annoying when they'll do that wall to wall pull, but then they don't like pop any cooldowns, and I burn everything and they die.
Yeah.
And then they start doing like the smallest pulls they can for the rest of the dungeon. I'm like, if you would just used cooldowns, we would have survived all of that. Like, stop acting
Yeah.
like I was the problem, but whatever. You're not using your things, so yeah, I guess we are gonna pull like this now. Um,
Yeah.
that's a bit
It's like
annoying. Like,
It happens, but
Yeah.
I mean, a dungeon at max is gonna take you like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably more around like 20.
Yeah. I'd say
Yeah.
closer to 20.
Like if you're wiping 30, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's just okay. Just that's all it is. Oh gosh. Andrew today had the worst Vale run.
Oh, oh no.
Those happen. Yeah.
He was
Worm
healing.
Veil can be cursed.
Tank was a dark. Didn't have
Oh
stand.
no. No. Oh god.
Everyone just died. Pulls the whole room.
Oh my
Oh man, I
gosh.
had a sprout do that to me. The first
And
room when you walk in, you know,
Oh
Mhm.
god.
he just.
Don't do
I
it.
remember watching this little sprout. He popped on tank stance, hit sprint, straight into the middle of the room, just pulling
No.
everything, and I was like, "Oh, here we go."
yeah.
That's like you typically don't do that in this dungeon.
Yeah, no, you
I
never
definitely
do.
had to
Like,
tell people that.
it's so hard too because there's like
It's
3
crazy.
giant frogs and
They'll
all
pull
these
you
little,
around.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
poison all over the ground everywhere. It's just absolute chaos.
Yeah. And then his tank wasn't AoEing.
No.
So
Oh no.
DPS were just pulling aggro, even though they had
Mm.
their stance on, they were just pulling aggro off because they weren't AoEing. And so they just kept dying and dying and
No.
dying. And I'm just like, oh my. And I'm like, did you at least get a comm at the end? He's like, no.
No.
Like
See, that's so sad.
the DPS were probably blaming me for dying too, because like I'm like, he's like, I just couldn't keep everyone alive though.
Yeah, you can't do that. The tank needs to be AoEing and DPS. If they get hit by that stuff too much, they're like made of paper, so
It
Yeah.
is bizarre
it's not gonna work.
that people will just assume, "Oh, someone died. Blame the healer."
Yeah,
When
that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
I actually had a run where I ran around a corner in the Stone Vigil,
Oh no.
and I risked it. I went with a full pull with double ice boys.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was fine, I thought. I was like, I got cooldowns, I think we're good. This healer's, they're up to snuff. We got this. Rounded a corner, and I guess like that last pack that pulls in the room, it aggroed straight to the healer for some reason and like one shot him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had never seen that because I had aggro on stuff. I'm like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
And then like 2 of the dragons, I guess I missed them with my AoE, just right at the healer, whack, and he was dead. I guess that final pack yeeted you. He goes, yeah, I guess so.
Oh my
Oh no.
And then I did it again, and we were fine. I made sure to like kind of cover the whole hallway, and like I got them
Yeah.
all, and
That's funny.
we were okay. We healed through, and everything was fine. But it was just funny because I rounded the corner, looked up, and the healer just instant blap. He was dead.
Those corners can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially like just line of sight with the healers. I've definitely been the healer in the situation where
Oh.
like the tank dies because it's like I was trying to heal you, but you turn this corner and I don't have like any instant cast heals. So I either like can't heal you because you're out of range or you're turning a corner and like that sort of deal, and it's like, oh, please.
Yeah, there was
Please be careful.
was that one Tamtara Deepcroft, I think it's called, one of the early dungeons that they recently remade.
Yeah.
So there's this one giant pull you can do, which I did, but again, I was like, I'm feeling it. This healer, he's got it. But I have faith. But they didn't realize there's the trickiest part about it is when you come up to the final door and you pull the last little pack, it goes up just a little bit, and that line of sight's the healer if the healer doesn't come up with you.
Oh no.
And they didn't realize that, and they hadn't sprinted right with me
Oh
to
no.
stay, so that I line of sighted them on that little bump and got deleted because they didn't come up the bump fast enough. And I just was like, unfortunate. I'm like, yeah, that line of sight's there, sorry. And we just did it again and we were fine. Like, it was okay, but
Yeah.
definitely, like, there's just those little tricky pulls that
Yeah.
little thing where if the healer doesn't step in the right spot, it's a wipe. because
Mhm.
you have to be
Happen.
right there on top of it. So it's not a huge deal. Some people might get mad, but
I
Yeah.
mean, waves happen. Like
You
if
just
and
learn from them.
if
Yeah.
you're gonna get bent out of shape about it, then just don't play an MMO.
Yeah.
yeah, run with the trusts and
Duty
whatnot.
support,
Yeah,
trust. Yeah.
don't play with
That's
other
why I just
people. That's
yeah. That's why I'm just like, and don't be a mentor. Holy moly,
yeah.
don't don't.
Just skip that part.
Mhm.
You don't deserve that crown.
No,
Oh boy.
some people don't, and they have it, and it's like you should not be a mentor.
Yeah, it feels bad. I worry that like new players, like if they hear like too many bad stories about like mentors, they see that crown and they're like afraid. It's like, oh
Yeah,
no, this person's gonna yell at me. It's like, no. I mean, people are different, but like typically, like people aren't gonna yell at you.
Yeah.
The bad mentors will yell at you.
oh gosh, yeah.
Especially if they're
But
in the mentor roulette. Like, I would
Oh
never, I don't
boy.
understand. Yeah.
mm,
It's-
yeah. So yeah, I guess we got that, and then probably by next week we will have something regarding the live letter.
Yep. Live letter on the 31st.
Yep, we
hopefully.
can talk about that. Some new things. We have some things coming down the pipe in terms of lore,
Mhm.
and also we are starting a D&D campaign based on Final Fantasy.
That's going to
Very
be fun.
excited.
It's going to be
That
a
is
lot of
gonna be
fun.
so we got a lot of things in the pipeline. So stay
What?
tuned. Got a lot of exciting things coming up.
Uh, yeah. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Everybody else should be looking forward to it. Whoever's listening, y'all better be excited.
Yeah, and
Um,
maybe I don't know. I don't know if you guys would ever think about maybe do we want to record our D&D sessions?
I was actually thinking about it. I was gonna ask you guys, like we could
I
provide a little update or something in our podcast dedicated to like where we are in the campaign, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I was planning to live
Listeners.
stream.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like have because I'll be the dungeon master for everyone that doesn't
Mhm.
know. So have my POV going. I still need to do a bunch of work because I mean obviously I don't have to world build much because all of us know Final Fantasy. So
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna bother doing zone maps. I'm just gonna be like, y'all know this area, right?
Yeah, I've
and
definitely pulled up a map to see,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that'll work.
I was figuring use the in-game areas for reference
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously expand on it because there's a lot of things in the game that would be there. You know, like these little villages and like these quest hubs, they would have housing. People live there. There would
Yeah.
probably be like a shop or a stall or an inn. Like there would be things in these places. They just didn't put them in the game because oh my gosh, that would be so much stuff.
Yeah.
um, then it would
But
make the scale too big. But yeah, like we can use that as our reference point. You know, oh, to the northeast, it's Horizon or whatever.
yeah, well, yeah, lots of things coming. We're
Yeah,
building story and characters, and got more for the podcast coming up. So
lore
be excited.
discussions probably coming. Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Be ready, guys. But
Mhm.
I think we're pretty much at that point. I guess we're wrapping up, or we have wrapped up, really. So
Yeah, think so.
everybody, thank you for listening. Follow us on the places linked. I've been putting them in the descriptions. I don't know how it works. If it's below, to the side, up or down, I don't know. Wherever it is, click on it. Twitter, Twitch. That's all I can think of. The YouTube, that's where we post
Yep.
YouTube versions of it.
Yeah.
Leave feedback wherever you are listening. We'll try to keep an eye on that. I know we missed some YouTube comments, but we did notice those and felt bad and responded.
getting
Thank you for leaving them.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks.
leaving them, and we're trying. We're getting better at it.
So
And
have a good week, everyone.
yeah, have a
Yeah.
great week, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.